I did see this article actually the other day, and they were talking about a new type of magnet that can bend light. And
Really? That on like you read it while you were on Perplexity, or Perplexity, the company, put that out?
in their mobile app, they actually have a almost like a news section. So they have like for you and top stories and stuff like that. I don't know if it show up in the web version, but I know on the mobile app it does.
A magnet that can bend light. It is the electromagnetic spectrums.
Yeah, I thought it was just really interesting since that's like a whole different twist on magnets and magnetic energy and all that other interesting stuff. Yeah, it's called a ultra mag. It's called an ultra magnet. That's it. Run the line, and I'll post it in chat.
So today we're going to be doing our lecture series on AI for business, and to be a good one, this is not too important in my life. So if you need me to copy, I think I denied. So I accidentally denied some note takers. If somebody wants to throw in a note taker again, that was an accident. Oh, there you go. There's. So today, we're going to continue with our lecture series. There's actually going to be a quiz at the end. If you can remind me, I'm hopefully reminding myself right now about the quiz. Some AI news that I just saw. Alibaba releases a new image edit, Gwen image editor. That's cool. I think, what did I just see? Google is updating its AI products across everything. Runway is launching a game world. So if you ever use Runway, they do a lot of video to video generation. And then they're bringing Copilot to Excel. So for those Copilot users, I'm not a big Copilot person myself, but I know that for some companies, they really push people to use it. And I think potentially adding that feature into Excel could be really useful. Any questions, any AI thoughts or ideas that anybody has, anything popping off, any idea, like any general questions that people have about AI? Hey, I was always wondering this about AI or that about AI. Okay. Again, we're going to have a quiz at the end. I'm going to start sharing my screen, and then we're already there. AI automation maturity model. Okay. And then if you have any questions as we're going through this, please do not hesitate to ask and just interrupt me if you want. But again, if you have any other questions, we can go over things at the end. But right now, because I am sharing screen, I can't see things in the chat. So I will try to check every once in a while to make sure that nothing's popping off too much in the chat. So one of the things, and this is going to come up pretty soon, but I think that I saw this study recently, and there is a figure or a number in here. I've been talking about this a lot this week just because the study just came out. 90% of AI projects fail or do not meet the expectations of what they're supposed to. And I've gone over like a number of reasons why I think that's happening. Part of it is just AI is this double-edged sword where it supposedly makes everything easier, but then it itself is fairly complex. And to really get good usage out of it, there are a lot of factors that go into it. And this is like early adopter type of issues. And then just with this specific technology, how complex it can be. And yeah, so let's go over this AI automation maturity model, which I think is going to help with this problem, right? And then you might run into this, right? And this is, again, like if 90% of them are failing, then if you can be part of the 10%, then that's great. And I was also wondering, like, how many other types of projects fail at what rate, right? So is 90% actually, maybe that's how a lot of projects are. Maybe a lot of projects across all kinds of sectors, like if somebody's implementing a new accounting process at their work, how often do those succeed? Is there an issue with adding new tools or vendor tools in general to systems, right? But here, let's dive into this a bit. So welcome to AI Profit Boardroom, of course. So we're going to go through AI automation maturity. So there's going to be a few different things we're going to go over. So the 5 stages of AI automation maturity, how to assess an organization's current stage, practical strategies for advancement, and a 90-day roadmap for implementation. And I think this is also important with that 90% rule. I think later we're going to see, I think they state 86%. This is one of these numbers where it depends on who's putting it together. But the answer is that a vast majority of projects do have failure rates too. Only 1% of companies achieve full AI maturity despite significant investment. Right. So that's not. And then this one, just 14% of all AI projects successfully scale beyond pilot stages. Right. And so I think that even there, like, then how many of them didn't even make it to the pilot stage, or really get that? And so that might be that discrepancy, that 4% that we're looking for. And this is something that I have talked about in a variety of classes, is that there is so much potential here. And there is a lot of potential for you as a company, for your clients as companies, but then as somebody who is looking for ways to make money, right? If AI is going to be as pervasive as everyone says it's going to be, and as the technology says it can be, then, if everybody's only at 1%, if we're only at 1% maturity, then that's 99% of companies are not at AI maturity. And then so many of these projects are having issues. And hopefully that is part of the reason why we do these coaching calls, because I think that I'm hoping to impart on you the different principles and techniques that can guide your project to get past that 14% number. And again, so you can also risk falling behind more mature competitors, right? Somebody who is using AI to just how much more, like any amount more means that they can be more profitable and have more time to get profits. And there is this big need for strategic, methodical implementation, right? This can be tough. I think strategic and methodical make it sound like it's potentially even more tough than it has to be. But overall, like, there does need to be some level of that understanding. But this also gives you that opportunity to leapfrog with a structured approach, right? So if you do all these things, if you bring your company to maturity, and then really look at this pie chart, right? This is the opportunity that's out there right now. And then even this is that tougher opportunity, but this is opportunity right here as well. Let me go and just quickly change things. No, just a bunch of AI assistants and note takers. We're good. So on your 45-minute journey, we'll take you through the component of the AI maturity model. So that's right now. That's our 45 minutes. Hopefully the first 15 minutes, here's a quick breakdown. Next 10 minutes, next 5 minutes. So we'll first go over the 5 stages of automation maturity models. We'll talk about the assessment tools and benchmarking, implementation strategies, and building an AI-first culture. And then for the automation maturity models, we really want you to understand the stages from manual operations to business transformation. So these are like the 5 different stages, and the different key characteristics and challenges. Also, the success indicators. The assessment tools will help you evaluate your organization's current maturity level, right? And this can be, again, like if you are looking to do, say, AI consulting, this is like the type of thing that you can run through, again, with your clients, right? Here, let's come in and do an assessment of your maturity level. We'll go over practical assessment frameworks and tools, and then stage-specific implementation roadmaps and overcoming common obstacles, right? So this is really like figuring things out. And then, and then we have our 90-day maturity advancement roadmap. And again, we're going to have a quiz at the end that I'm going to pass out. All right, manual operations with AI assistance. So this is AI handling isolated tasks, human manage everything else. So this is, we talked about this before. This is really like the tools. These are AI apps working in isolation. So this is you using ChatGPT to do one task, right? There is no pipeline. There is no automations, really. We haven't taken that AI and automated it essentially into a workflow. And this is probably, even though a lot of people, the companies that, this is what I'll say. This is like that sweet spot of who you would want to be targeting. There are some companies that are this level. There's a lot of companies that are this level, right? Who need to start using even just, say, ChatGPT, right? Or Perplexity or Claude or any of these guys. But then any other like single AI tools, where they're not even doing that. But then also, I think when I talk a lot, it makes me yawn sometimes in the morning. When we get companies that are at this stage one, they're really like the ones who are the most ready to take on the next set of stages because they already have some level of proof of concept and some familiarity with AI. And so really this is either who you want to find or how you want to convert companies initially, because you have these initial wins, right? Where you don't need to necessarily build out a whole workflow for them. They can start to get solutions through these single AI tools with the caveat, hey, like you can start with this, but then, at some point in time, we do need to transition to some of the stage 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Again, like this is when we do our N8N workflows, you have systems that share data between the tools, right? Unlike we'll have, say, something that is maybe an AI image generator and then like a agent or something like that, where you have two different tools and they're sharing their information between each other. Humans perform most of the work. Yes and no. The AI is helping us out a lot here, right? If humans are performing most of the work, but there is definitely a much more human involvement in this, right? And this is the part where, again, like people do want to transition out of this into something that is more automated. And then this is very just focused on automating simple, repetitive tasks. So again, like if you're just like, here, make these emails for me, something like that. Tool fragmentation silos. And that's really just, hey, if you ever notice, like I go to ChatGPT, it generates something for me. I take what it generates and I bring it over here. And then I take that and I bring it over there. That's that fragmentation and silo line. That's the thing that like with our N8N workflows that you can solve, or any other workflow that you're interested in. This tends to have inconsistent adoption across teams because one person could be doing one thing, another person could be doing another thing, and they're not really all rowing in the same direction. It's also difficult to measure the ROI because there is no system, right? You're not really measuring. Like if you're using ChatGPT and you're getting things done, it doesn't measure things as much as like an automation pipeline where you're really seeing what's coming out of it and what's going on. And there is no automation roadmap because we're not really automating anything and there's no strategy there. It's just, hey, some people are using ChatGPT or Claude or whatever. And then, these good indicators, right? How do you know that it's time for them to move on? These clearly defined automation performance metrics. So this is really, hey, we're looking to go to workflow automation. Like these are the things that we're looking for. We've talked about this in previous calls and where people are noticing these issues, right? These issues, or they have this ready to go. So it's like they know that they have the performance metrics that they're looking for. They know that there are AI tools that need integration. They have a governance framework to be able to assess all this stuff. And they have this plan for automating things end-to-end workflows, not just these one-off things. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I was about to almost. What do we get? Victor, my company's definitely stuck at stage 1 right now, just starting stage 2. Water testing. Yeah. Again, I would say that a majority of companies that are doing some form of AI are really in stage 1, right? And then even more companies aren't even at stage 1. So like that transition into stage 1 and out of stage 1 is probably one of the most important transitions that you can make. And that I help a lot of companies with doing. I think that, and potentially that you can help them with, where it's confusing. Like, how do we, like what? And so that's why they need people like us to handle that. It makes that 90% further than most. So workflow automation. So this is our Thursdays. When you come in here and it's a Thursday, that figure, all right, it's a little wonky. The AI I had a little trouble with that figure, but we get the general concept. So this is where we're connecting our tools together with our N8N workflows or any other type of automation workflows. And this enables the handoff between a process and another step. We're using rules to move things along and then the AI to handle that work. You can have AI systems working together across departments, right? Where again, like this, everybody has access to these tools. It's automation, essentially. We do have this automated handoff between process steps, right? Again, like in our N8N, there's that automation aspect of it. Rule-based decision-making for routine choices. And that's really the key here is, and I tell people like, the solution is not just AI a lot of times, it is AI, automation, API, right? The 3 A's. AAA. if you connect to something through an API, and like, yeah, so like your AI is probably also an API. Sometimes it's not, but that API is like some other tool, usually some other data source, something, right? We've seen a lot of those in our workflows, and then that automation to automate it. And then when you have that API automation AI, that is and done well, that's the special sauce, right? That is where you're able to generate growth. And yeah, you can have this seamless data flow between application. That seamless means you don't necessarily have to do it. Although, in our calls, I do stress this concept to people that like initially maybe put some seams in there so that you can check human in the loop, make sure everything's working right, and then cover up the seams after that and get things moving along. Common mistakes, we talk about these often. Automating too much without planning for exceptions. Right. And that's keeping the human out of the loop. This is just way too automated. There's not enough feedback and you're just causing problems. And the same thing, poor human AI collaboration interfaces, right? So not only are you not having an opportunity for humans to step in, you're also don't have a good interface for them to step in, right? Like, how do they make that human in the loop choice? What information are you providing to them? Like, how is this working? Automating flawed processes instead of fixing them first. This is one of my big things. I've talked about this often. You need to know if your process works first before you automate it, or that it's doing what you want and it's like the AI part, like getting the AI part to work and to generate results. And maybe you don't necessarily automate everything at first. You're there, right, to make sure it's doing what you want. You're getting some level of results. And then once you know that each step of the AI process or that API call is working, then automate and get everything to flow together. And then not helping employees adjust to workflow changes, right? Like the people are resilient to change, especially when it comes to work, especially if they're not familiar with AI. This can be really difficult. Yeah, we need to make sure that the employees are ready to go. Let me double check again. Cool. Intelligent process optimization. So this is stage 3. Very few companies are, if we're having so many at pre-stage 1, at stage 1, having issues with stage 2, and that's at 90% really, where then stage 3, but as things go, people are going to want more and more stage 3. So we're looking for AI systems that continuously learn from data, adapt to new information, predict issues, and recommend improvements with minimal human guidance. So this is that, what is it? Feedback learning, right? Learn it. It's getting feedback and it's learning from the feedback, and then it is automating from there. This is truly agentic. And yeah, like we don't see this as often, but this is something that's out there. And this is what people are looking for. But we are, in a lot of practical senses, a lot of people don't get to this stage. So we have self-learning from experience and outcomes, right? So like the AI but you have to build it to be able to do this, like a way for it to learn and to pick up that information and then process that information and then go further. Predictive analytics to anticipate problems, pattern recognition for process inefficiencies, and automated decision-making for complex situations, right? So these are somewhat higher level, right? Like this is not just putting pieces together and having them automate. Like you have to think about really what are the type of problems? What are the process inefficiencies that could happen? How would you analyze them? How do you use that analysis to provide feedback and to get your system to be better? Cultural factors for success. Data-driven decision-making culture. Yes. Like we need something that is based on data because your AI is based on data. This acceptance of continuous process changes, right? Because this process is going to keep changing and you have to be ready for that and also be able to evaluate those process changes. You need to have some trust in your AI recommendations. I wouldn't just give it full trust, but maybe trust is not necessarily, you don't want to blindly trust it as much as by building in sort of analysis, you can trust your analysis. And then focus on exception handling versus routine work. So let's look at this. So there's data collection and analysis. So this is the system gathers operational data from multiple sources. So that's That makes sense. We're collecting our data. And then this pattern recognition, this is tougher. So it identifies trends, anomalies, and improvement opportunities. So this is like that analysis, like what is going on here? How can we make things better? What are some of the outliers that we're seeing, these anomalies, and how can we improve it? This does take a very sort of logical, critical mind. Automated optimization system implements changes and measures outcomes. So this is, we see these changes, we update and optimize based on these changes, and then we measure the outcomes from there. And then we have this continuous learning, results, feedback in the system to improve future decisions. Okay. So autonomous business operations. Now, this is higher level, and I think that this can be in conjunction with other things. You don't want to just hand over everything. This, you go a little too far down this road, and we end up with Skynet, and the Terminators come out. None of us want that. There is this like even higher level AI processing, right? So this is managed with minimal human input, comprehensive integration across business function, advanced decision-making under uncertainty. This is a very intelligent system. Most companies are not even close to being ready for this, right? And the level of planning and understanding that goes into this is extremely high level. But you could pitch this as, hey, this is where we're eventually going to. Strategic oversight instead of daily execution, right? So it is making very large level decisions. And then you can, again, connect this to your other level, just levels down in these stages. So this sets goals and guardrails for AI operations, handling exceptions requiring human judgment. So again, like we no longer need that human judgment. Watch out there. And then continuously improving the AI capabilities. Clear accountability frameworks for AI decisions. So this is a big issue that comes in here is how do we handle when AI makes a decision? And this is something that when you're just at automating and you're not doing like this larger level decision making doesn't matter as much because you're keeping AI as a tool. Once it starts doing this, then who is to blame when AI makes a bad decision? Comprehensive performance monitoring systems, robust contingency plans for system failures, and ethical guidelines for autonomous operations. Yeah, you need to have just this higher level, more intuitive and expansive sort of understanding of what's going on here. And then how do we make sure that this doesn't go awry, right? The Terminators don't come out and get us. Do you need to get the chunking just right first? I'll say yes, but I don't know what the chunking is in reference to. However, I will say that all the way around for all the chunking, almost always the answer is yes. Even like yesterday, we were talking about RAG LLM systems and the chunking there. You got to get that chunking right. But then this is also true of our agentic systems as well, or our automated systems that like, if you do not chunk things properly, then you're going to have problems. And then even if you're chunking your daily life tasks, you want to get those right as well. AI browsers to test, they clicked, they paid, they failed. Oh, interesting. Take a look at that. All right, moving on. Unless anybody has any questions, throw them out there or any comments. Again, shoot them out there so I don't have to talk as much. Business model transformation. So this is the highest level. Organizations create entirely new business models that would be impossible without AI autonomous systems. Business models that are built around AI from the ground up. And I think that there are aspects of this that, even though this is stage 5, that potentially, and I think that part of the problem is that people, maybe one of the things you want to do at stage 5 is that this could be, I could see how somebody would start with this, although you do run into issues by starting from scratch with this. But you could. Value creation beyond traditional industry boundaries. Data is a primary competitive advantage in continuous business model experimentation, right? And so this is, again, like essentially your business is just AI generated stuff. You can have new revenue streams from AI-driven services, expanded market reach beyond traditional boundaries, improved competitive positioning, and reduced vulnerability to market disruption. So this is not only like a company using AI for themselves, but using AI to provide value to their clients and customers and then potentially charging them for it, right? So like this is when you start adding AI to your application or your platform, right? So this is not in the same type of way as internal, but that external. And again, like this is something that people could decide that they want to do first, right? Where they want to add this, for their clients, or they want to add this new feature to their platform that is AI driven, or like they're trying to sell like an AI app. So we have these different examples: manufacturing, retail, financial services, and healthcare, from product offerings to algorithmic financial advisors and automated wealth management. Treatment centered to prevention focused models with continuous monitoring, right? So these are different ways that you could use AI to provide value to your users, right? To your clients and your users. Instead of selling what you make, you're selling the outcomes your customers actually want, made possible by AI driven capabilities, right? So this is again like using AI to provide value for your clients, and they're getting something out of it. So again, like stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I do think that again, like 5 could float around here a little bit if you want. It's not a good idea to do stage 2 without stage 1, right? And for sure, 4 and 3, if you don't do stage 2 at all, I don't like, what do you like? These are much more of a line. And then this one, I feel like there is something where there could be sense that I would see this, where first make your company more AI automated, and then add these new features for your clients at the end. I could see that as being a good way of looking at this. Key value and key maturity indicators: value, integration, intelligence, autonomy, and innovation. And I think that does make a lot of sense, right? Like, you're first getting that value by having your task efficiency, that integration, right? So that everything is integrating together and it's easier and automated, but then that's getting more and more intelligence, and then has an even higher level of autonomy. And then from there, you're innovating with new solutions for your industry. So how to assess your AI maturity? Technology integration. How well do your AI systems connect and share data across functions, right? And and then decision autonomy. What decisions can your AI systems make without human interventions, right? And that'll give you an idea of like where you're at. So where are you in level 1 or 5? If you're not having your AI systems connect, then you're still in level 1. And then in level 5, like, this is another thing that you can ask yourself: what decisions can your AI systems make without human intervention? And these are different things that you're looking at, both 1, 3, and 5. How prepared are your people and process for AI-driven change? I feel like this is like something that could go across multiple levels. And then strategic alignment. How integrated is your AI in your business strategy and KPIs? Again, this is going to handle a lot of these higher level, or even transition you from your level 1. So here's a different way. I think this might be a more streamlined or understandable way to do AI maturity benchmarking. So you have your 6 pillars of AI maturity. So your AI strategy, your data governance, talent and skills, AI-driven workflows, agentic AI, and AI performance. And so you can give these scored. The first one, a couple of these are scored -100 to 100, and then other ones are scored 0 to 100. So AI strategy. So vision, leadership support, AI governance. Like, how much AI strategy is there right now? But for a lot of companies, it's very little. Data governance, data policy, silos, connectivity, privacy. I think a lot of companies do have some level of data governance, and AI is going to introduce more data, the ability to harness your data better. But a lot of them are a little bit sloppy when it comes to data. Talent and skills, AI capable workforce assessment. So like, how much AI talent do we have here? AI driven workflows. So this integration between departments, how much of these workflows connected together? Advanced autonomous AI usage, right? For a lot of companies, this is 0, right? I think as you're going through this, you might find a lot of companies are at like 0, -200, something like that. And then AI performance, business outcomes, and ROI, right? So are they getting any AI performance business outcomes? Exploring opportunities: minimal AI plan or governance, developing vision and starting to use AI for benefits. So that's the evaluator, exploring the opportunities. Your experimenter is developing vision and starting to use AI for benefits. The expander, so you're scaling that pilot, right? We're getting out of that first phase. How do we expand that pilot and make it so that we're seeing some benefits? And then the advancer is integrating the AI vision and workflows. So you're starting to see more significant results. Then the transformer is transforming the strategies, operations with AI. These are obviously going from here to here. And these are the steps that you are going to need to go through, or like the companies do need to go through, right? Like you can't just start skipping some of this stuff. Well, we're just going to transform everything with AI. So, okay, sure. First, we need to start to evaluate some of these things, and then we can go from there. And here's just a good scoring system. Total maturity score equals weighted average of pillar scores. So pillars 1 through 4 and 6, weight of 0.0. Pillars 5, agentic AI, weight of 0.5. And then score them up. And again, like I think that sometimes you will get pretty low scores on this. All right. How is our chat doing? Agentic AI browser susceptible to scams. Oh, okay. Yeah. That might be a new way to scam people, scam their AI. That's interesting, right? Thinking about what can we do to keep the AI from getting scammed. Focus on these key actions to advance through each stage of AI automation maturity model. All right, stage 1, manual operations. Think isolated AI tools, define clear workflows, establish baseline metrics, and organize your data architecture. So yes, you have people have these AI tools that they like. How do we connect them together and with clear workflows and that make sense, right? That are established by them. In one of our previous calls, one of our members, she was talking about doing a system where she was using AI to potentially automate the workflow understanding process. I think that's a great idea. We want to establish these baseline metrics. And again, like you need to know, how do we know we're getting better? And then really just organizing this data architecture. So we want to create for our automation workflow to be able to go from stage 2 to stage 3, or yeah. Okay. We want to create these feedback loops, integrate systems via APIs, implement exception handling, and train AI on routine decisions. So this is taking us from just using a workflow to making it a little bit more intelligent. And then for stage 3, you want to build your optimizing systems, implement predictive analytics, develop learning mechanisms, and create comprehensive performance dashboards. And yeah, like this is just a good way to see how your system is maturing and like how it is developing and growing, the feedback that it is generating, and how it's learning, right? Autonomous operations, establish strong governance frameworks, develop oversight mechanisms, define escalation protocols, implement robust risk management. Yeah, at this point, like you are going to start switching over to having a system that is making these decisions. What do we do here when it's making these decisions? How do we handle that? What goes on there? And then business transformation. So we're going to test new business models, create rapid experimentation frameworks, expand into adjacent markets, and develop AI native value propositions. And again, like this is like, how do we offer value to our clients and customers, or our new clients and customers? And what is there in this to do? And again, like I think with a lot of this stuff, people feel like skipping these steps or this is boring or whatever. But this is the important part of getting things right. How do you stay out of that 14%, right? Build an AI first people centered culture. Okay. So we have ADKAR. Wonder if we can make an acronym out of that. Something like DARCA, right? Or ADARC. I think that's in there if you want to just ADCAR. ADCAR. Awareness, building understanding of why AI matters through clear messaging and executive sponsorship. Right. I think that we're still in a phase where people don't realize why AI matters. And this can be very important. Create motivation by showing benefits, addressing concerns, and involving teams early. So making sure that people now they have the awareness, now they have that desire, right? Here, this is what we can do. This is great. This is what we try to generate here. Knowledge, provide education on how AI works and skill building opportunities, right? Like really helping people understand what is AI. And these first 3, I feel like can get mixed together, right? Like part of that awareness is the knowledge. Part of that knowledge creates desire. This is a pretty good little system we have. Enable practical application through hands-on experience and coaching. Yeah, this is looking great. Like, how do we get people to get the hands-on experience? Showing them. I think that with any sort of new skill, like people need to learn how to use it. And then maintain momentum with recognition, success stories, and continued support. So don't just, if things are going well, make sure everyone knows it's going well. Yay, we're doing it. Experimentation, encourage testing and learning with AI tools, human AI partnerships across departments, ethical AI use with clear governance, ongoing skills development for all levels. And so these really, again, like I think that people can skip these or forget about these, but these are super important, right? And getting really to get AI to make sense and make an important, make an impact on people. Overcoming resistance, we have to address fears with empathy and facts. So people are going to be afraid, but we can't just make them feel bad, feeling afraid. We want to showcase these early wins and the positive impact. Let people know, hey, like this is creating a positive impact here. This is what's going on. This is great. Involve the skeptics in the process. These are the people that we really need to move over. If you can get your skeptics to be less skeptical, then you're really winning a lot of the battle there. And then create safe spaces for feedback and concerns. Don't make it difficult for people to give us feedback, especially like AI needs feedback. Even if it's not a feedback learning loop, we need that feedback to make sure that the AI is doing better and better. Okay. All right, we're going to finish up the lecture just a little bit early. We can go through different fun stuff today and discuss maybe some other things. I'll go around and maybe start pushing people to talk a little bit. But here's our homework. Audit your process and rate each on a maturity stage. Evaluate the 3 to 5 key business processes against the 5-stage model. And again, like this is an assessment that you can also do with your clients and customers. I would not have them do this themselves. I'm very against this idea of giving your clients and customers homework, even though I guess, I don't know. Yeah, no, we're a community, right? I can give the community homework. I very much caution that because they're not going to want to do the homework. They've already done enough homework. So really, if you want, I would walk my clients through this maturity thing. And then that can be, you have to be careful. If you start and delivering the message to somebody that they're at a 0 is tough, right? And that can be overwhelming. And so I think that if you just do that assessment, I think we're all mature here. We got what we're going on. We have a good sense of what's going to happen when we do this assessment. But if you do this with a client and you start going through it and say, "Yeah, you guys are at a 0," it'd be tough unless you have a real quick way to get them here. This is how we get you to a 5. I don't know, whatever number we want to get them to. And these are the states that get that roadmap going. Is this missing? This is supposed to have a roadmap. Did we get one? I don't think so. I think it said that we were going to have a roadmap, but we didn't. All right. Okay. It says draft the 90-day roadmap with responsible owners. Maybe we'll drop that in as an extra bonus. And then so this number 2 is what I was saying, right? Where it's like, you got to identify those 1 to 2 quick wins and 1 long-term goal, right? If you just say, and you're like, you're at a 0, deal with it. That's tough, right? But if it's like, hey, you're at a 0 now, but we can get you up and going with these quick wins. And that's going to get everyone excited. And then once we have these quick wins, we'll be able to focus on these longer term goals. Draft that 90-day roadmap with responsible owners, include specific actions, owners, timelines, and success metrics. And then this AI maturity assessment tool, detailed template with scoring guidelines, give at the end of class in the recording place illumination risk. Okay, let me stop sharing really quick. And then I'm going to, hopefully I'm still. And then I got this quiz. Let me give this quiz to everyone. And take some time right now. And let me see, how does this quiz look? All right. Let's all just take a little time and go through our AI automation maturity assessment. So this is a comprehensive assessment evaluation, the organization's AI automation maturity across 5 different dimensions. And here, take a little time right now. I'm going to do it myself. Here, maybe no, I don't want everyone to see my quiz answers. We're not allowed to cheat. Can we download? I think they make the PDF available. So I think that these are going to be, I'm pretty sure that they're available with the course recordings. All right, everyone, take a little bit of time, go through and do your quiz, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. Anybody have any questions about the quiz while they're doing it? Ooh. And Victor's a quick quiz taker. I would say like, this can be somewhat of a difficult, not difficult, you're going to get the wrong answer. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I can see that for you also, Victor. I would say it's just an intense sort of evaluation of what's going on in your process. And I think it can also just highlight some of the issues, how far off you are. Oh, wow. We had very few people, I feel like, up in here. I didn't realize how many people had actually shown up for today's meeting. Oh, that's great. Kids call. All right, we'll give another couple minutes for the quiz. We'll probably come back. I'll stop talking just so people have time to focus. I think a lot of people's lowest will be decision making. Probably, Victor. I think a lot of us are not decision making over to AI yet.
Intelligence part.
Yep.
Who built this then? Sorry.
What?
Who built this then?
The quiz?
Yeah.
Not me. They just gave it to me. Probably Vic. You guys know Vic. He's the one who handed it over to me. Good chance that he did. Okay. So hopefully you got some quiz answers for yourself. And again, this is something that you could potentially give to your clients or customers to see where they're at. The scores are going to be pretty low, right? Like we got to be grading these on a curve. A lot of us are not as of yet ready to take on that next. And again, like some of this stuff, especially as Vic pointed out, decision making. We're probably not handing a lot of our AI over to decision making yet. A lot of companies would be at the lower level of that. Any questions that people have about the quiz? Any questions that people have about AI? Or I see a lot of people dropped in here after we did our intro. So if anybody's got anything they want to share, any AI stuff, Vic's been sharing the AI scams. If you want to share anything about what you've been implementing lately, go for it.
All I can say is, well, there's so many different tools because I've listened to a few people, different agencies. It's just really good to have some form of where people are, what they're using, whether they're using, let's say, just initially Fathom, Notion, Slack, Stroke, and Micro, and then seeing how people are using it. The worst thing is people come along and go, oh, I'm using this, and then someone says, I'm using that, and then, hang on a minute, I'd rather just have one thing, learn it well, and then if I need to adapt later on, but that's an issue. And then with the other workflows, I want to build it'd be good if Justin maybe he's done it, build some workflows out for integration workflows within what we do. There's so many templates in there. It's like, wow.
I'm Victor. Vic is Vic. He's much smarter and nice. Oh, sorry, Victor. Am I calling you Vic? I'm sorry if I do. I know that people do not like. Oh, you're Victor. Okay, next. Vic is Vic. I see what you mean. Yes, you're Victor. And then Vic is the one who gave me the quiz, who's a different Vic than Victor. This has been a very Vic-Victor conversation. If anybody else is confused, I think I confused myself also. Anybody else have anything they want to share about AI or AI automation or new tools that they're using that they think are fun and cool? Next week, I'll start going over next week. We're going to have, I think we got to be finished with the RunPod Delora situation. I think if we're going to do anything with it, I'm just going to do a quick demo and recap. The RunPods have been driving me crazy, as you've seen. And then the same thing with the LoRa generation. We are pretty close on both of those, but I probably will just do maybe a smattering of that on Tuesday. And then we'll pick up a new topic. I don't know if we'll be able to fully benchmark. Nano Banana is amazing. What is Nano Banana? Give us a little update about Nano Banana, Todd, either in the chat or you can go on cam or just voice. Nano Banana. I'll keep talking. And then maybe, I don't think we're ready to just start benchmarking the different American and Chinese models. What we might do is just walk through them. Gemini image generation. Oh, okay. Oh, hold on. Nano Banana is amazing. Gemini 2.5 image model. Oh, it's Gemini image. Okay. So that is Gemini's. They call it Nano Banana, huh? All right. It's amazing. Amazing sounds good. What are Todd or Edgar some of the cool features with Nano Banana? What are making it so amazing? I'll tell you, one of the things I like about ChatGPT's image generator, although it's not the end all be all, I feel like you can get a lot more realer looking images out of other stuff, but awareness that it has is really interesting. And then the ability to do text halfway decent is pretty good. Banana got consistent. Oh, Consistent characters. There you go. You don't need Laura's anymore then if you got consistent characters. I'm going to check that out. Consistent characters are really important. I'll tell you, once I get the consistent characters things down, and then a little bit more in that video generation, AI movies are coming, right? AI movies are coming because the consistent characters is one of the most problematic aspects. You need more than just consistent characters, consistent wardrobe, consistent scene, all of that stuff. But if you can do it, then AI movies are coming. Anything else? Anybody else have anything to share? I'll keep on going through. So we'll have Q&A day Monday. Bring your questions. I'll have answers. I'll bring some questions. It's really just a chance for us to all just talk AI. GenSpark is blowing Edgar's mind, right? What about GenSpark is blowing your mind, Edgar? Tuesday, again, is a tiny bit of Laura's and Run Pods. We can get there. And then, okay, my potential idea is maybe we're not benchmarking AI versus or American versus Chinese models, but potentially we'll just take them we'll take a look at some. I'll probably line up a few that we can look at and see what we're getting. We can evaluate them, see how people feel, if anybody has any different ones, but is there a big difference? Okay. The new AI image editing tool, Nano Banana, has launched with a focus on text-driven control. AI-powered image editing platform. Oh, okay. It moves beyond simple generation to focus on complex iterative manipulation of existing AI post-production services. Part of the service of generating and creating variations. Interesting. Build hyper-personalized rich campaigns. So I see an interesting. Yeah. And so this is yesterday's call. Started at an hour early, so we didn't have as many people in it. Hopefully you're able to watch the recording. But this is one of the topics that came up in an offshoot type of way, which is that essentially it's like the Stable Diffusion image generators and the LLMs, right? They came out and were fairly available a few years ago. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And really, there's been some improvements on them. The LLMs are getting a little bit better. The image generators are getting a little bit better. We're not really creating new grandiose models beyond that. Really, it's this stuff. Is taking that base concept and how do you give it more features? How do you make it more? How do you get it to be more functional? Like an image generator is great, but then if it's just generating images and there is no consistent characters, if there's no way to edit it, there's no way to do any of this other stuff, then it's cool, but just it's something for you to post on Instagram and not necessarily something that has value and business value in the same type of way. And then the same thing goes for LLMs, right? Until they added the ability to make them to start having agentic pipelines and then to have RAG LLM, they weren't as useful as they could be, right? And so we are going to go through this phase, which is going to be fairly interesting for all of us, where a lot of the same base AI models that just get a little bit better, the utilization of them gets bigger and bigger, right? We're like, are more and more advanced, right? Consistent characters, agentic, RAG LLM systems, better RAG, graph RAG systems, all these things. But then we're also, again, still hitting that 90% fail rate. So that's not necessarily as good. And so a lot of AI development around these base models, but then still that level of failure that we need to deal with. Okay. So that was today's call. We'll be back next week on, Monday is a holiday, so I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to check with Vic, the other Vic, not Victor, to see if we're doing Monday. If not, maybe Tuesday becomes a Q&A day and a Dr. Jeff special day. And then we have Wednesday, and then we'll have Thursday and Friday. So we'll figure it out. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Greece, that sounds great. Have a good one, Derek. Everyone, bye. Laters.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Jeff. Thanks a lot for your help. Very guys. Anger, hook me up.
See you guys. Thank you.
Bye, person. Bye. We're all